Hey guys, and welcome back to Gunpla News. This is the episode 9 for August 2015. If you missed part 1, you can go back and watch that. I talked about the news stuff for this month. In this part, we're going to talk about the kit and figure announcements that we've got over the past month. Then in part 3, we're going to talk about some kit and figure updates. Part 4, some third-party stuff. And part 5, some featured kits. So if you want to watch all of these as a playlist, as always, you can just watch them all together as a single playlist, or just skip around and watch whichever parts you're most interested in. Anyway, once again, very hot in here, so I'm sorry if I'm sweaty. I'm not sure how well you're able to see that on camera, but apologies for that. Let's go ahead and just get into it because I want to get out of this hot room. So the first thing is we've got an Assault Kingdom Psycho Gundam. I think this is coinciding with the 30th anniversary of Zeta Gundam, so that's why I think they're doing this, or just one reason. I don't think they really need a reason to put out anything. Bandai is just so random with everything anyway. This is going to be out in December for 9,990 yen. I don't know why they didn't just put one extra 9 on there just for fun. But basically 10,000 yen, so around $100, but current exchange rate would be something more like 80, which is not that bad. Still a lot for a Assault Kingdom figure, but it is fully transformable. The cockpit hatch opens, which is also pretty cool. And it comes, for accessories, it really only comes with 3 different sets of hands, closed fists, like firing fingers like this, and like open hands. And then it also comes with 3 pieces instead of 1 of the Bandai gum. So I don't know why they showed that in the picture. It's kind of funny that that's a selling point of the kit, but not kit, figure. Anyway, looks pretty cool. And the size of it looks like 3 times as tall as like the normal figure. So I'd imagine I'd put this figure maybe somewhere around a 1/100 scale, master grade size in terms of how tall this figure is going to be. Maybe a little bit taller, something like the size of like a master grade unicorn, something. So it's going to be pretty sizable, definitely. So that explains the price and the fact that it's a premium Bandai. I think I forgot to say that, but it is a premium Bandai product. So next is the Tamashii Webshop exclusive SDX Superior Dragon X EXAS. So basically just a fancy SD Gundam that's going to be out in December for a fancy price of 12,000 yen. Very, very expensive. These Tamashii Webshop exclusive like SD kits are insanely priced. I have no idea who buys them, but some people really love SD stuff, so I guess that's who. Anyway, then the next, one more Tamashii Webshop exclusive is the Robot Spirits God Gundam Hyper Mode. Now this one definitely looks much more interesting, I think, for me personally. It's out in December as well for 6,400 yen. And it looks really cool. It looks like what they've done is made like of course it has an inner frame, but it's not like a model kit where like we're building it, of course, but it still does have an inner plastic frame inside there, which is molded in gold plastic, but then the other parts are molded in clear plastic. Everything on the outside is clear plastic and then like sprayed gold. So some parts are more transparent than others. So it's got some really cool effect there, with some of the parts being like more solid gold and some of them being more like translucent gold, sort of. It's really, really interesting. It looks really nice. It comes with that cool like flame effect part as well, so you can do like Hadouken or Kamehameha sort of effects if you wanted to do that. But again, I would rather have something like that in like a kit form, but for people who like figures, that should be pretty cool. So let's premium Bandai stuff. We had only 2 announcements for premium Bandai stuff this month in terms of kits. We have number 1, the Master Grade Fenice Rinashita Alba. I'm not sure what this is from. I guess someone's going to tell me in the comments, I'm sure. Thank you. I didn't take the time to look this up before the video, so sorry about that. Anyway, it's basically a slightly different version of the Master Grade Fenice Rinashita, which I have here, waiting to be put together. It's on the to-do list. That is going to be out in October for 4,800 yen. Not too bad. I prefer the look of this one more than the standard version. It does have a few changes. The shoulder armor's different, and like the part that comes out, it doesn't come with like the effect parts. So that's one thing. And it has a few other minor changes throughout the kit. I think on the wings there's a little bit of a difference there as well. But it's going to be mostly just the color change is going to be the most noticeable change, but there are a few actual part changes as well, and I do like the look of that one better. So considering that, maybe, but I don't know. I haven't really heard too much feedback about that, so I don't know about, are you guys looking forward to it or not? I don't know. Let me know. Then the other premium Bandai kit is the HGUC GM2 Semi-Striker. This was a version of the GM that was featured in Gundam Unicorn in the OVA. I think in the scene, like the surprise attack scene where the Xeon remnants are all like coming out of the water and stuff. The Semi-Striker is there. It's basically a mix of the GM Striker and GM2. And it looks like mostly GM2 there. It does have a little bit different part on like the side of the legs. I think like the shoulders and obviously the weapon are from the GM Striker. That looks like basically it. Anyway, it looks pretty cool. That's on sale in October for 1,600 yen. Not very expensive. Then, okay, let's talk about the Iron-Blooded Orphans stuff. So first thing is it's going to have some Gashipan figures. So there's going to be a Barbatos Gundam, the Greys, and something else, I don't know, we'll have to see. Anyway, there's going to be some Gashipan. Then next there's going to be some Converge figures here. At least there's going to be a Barbatos Gundam Converge figure, but I think it's just sort of in planning. That's probably going to come out with the next series of Converge figures, which I haven't seen any official announcement for what's going to be all in that set, but I'm sure over the next month we'll see something about that. And then there's also going to be a Next Edge figure as well of the Barbatos Gundam out in winter, so not exact, but winter, and then there's no price set for that yet either. The price is to be announced. And so that's going to be coming with the mace axe thing, as well as the sword. So those seem to be like the two main weapons for the Barbatos Gundam at like the beginning of the series. So all of these first kits are basically coming with those weapons or some form of either one of the two or something like that. So that is that. Then with the Next Edge Barbatos, we can see there's also prototypes for the High Mobility Greys, and then one other mobile suit that we don't know the name of yet, or I haven't seen the name of that one yet. Looks interesting, very unique head shape there, but so I'm guessing we might see more of those as well later on. I don't know. Anyway, we'll see. Then moving into the kits, we have the 1/100 scale Barbatos Gundam. I think everyone knows by now, or I think you should know by now, that they're not calling this a master grade. So as of this point in time, we can't call it a master grade. It's just a 1/100 scale, so that technically makes it a non-grade. But as far as I know, we've never had any non-grades that actually have a full inner frame, so very unique. But I think this is sort of going along with what their theme is for the series and what the theme is looking like it's going to be for the kits, where it's going to be a frame that we're going to be able to add and swap a lot of different parts on as the series progresses. We'll get different part sets and stuff to put on that frame, so it's going to be a sort of universal frame for the Gundams of that series. If all the Gundams in the series use that, we don't know at the moment, but I think that's what they've said, that all the Gundams share that frame, but I don't know if they're going to actually stick to that or not. Anyway, it does look interesting. The frame doesn't really look all that complex. I think there's maybe one reason why they didn't want to call this a master grade. The frame does look really simple, but if it's effective, that's the most important part. The one thing that bothers me the most about the frame right now is that the hands that it's pictured with are very ugly, like static, like HG Reconquista and G-style open hands where they're just really dull. So I don't know, hopefully, I mean, it's got more hands to work with, closed fists and holding hands, or one of the two. Anyway, that is that. So for the 1/100 scale Barbatos Gundam, that is out in November for 2,700 yen, so not too expensive. That's the price of a very cheap master grade or expensive high grade, so kind of right in between there. Then next we have the HG Barbatos Gundam. So this is actually an HG in its own HG line. It's going to be, so that is out in October, 1 month earlier, for 1,000 yen, very cheap. So that's cool. I think with this they're also going for the versatility of the Gundam in terms of its like parts and stuff you can add, subtract, and change weapons out and stuff, whatever you want to do to customize it as the series progresses. So yeah, that's going to be just 1,000 yen, pretty cheap. It's coming with the sword and the mace, I think is what that's coming with. I like the look of that sword, and I like the fact, I said this before too, I like the fact that it's not a beam sword, but an actual physical sword is pretty cool. We don't see that too often outside of the Astray Red frame, and honestly I'm tired of looking at that sword. And that's sort of like supposed to be styled like an actual Japanese sword, where this one is like something kind of more modern, kind of, so I like that. I think it looks cool. And then, so we're going to have the HG Orphans Option Set 1 and CGS Mobile Worker. So this is going to be the first option set and of many I'm assuming that we're going to have. I don't know how many yet, of course, but I'm sure there'll be quite a few. That is out in October as well, at the same time for 600 yen, so pretty cheap. This is coming with, number one, a large cannon, which I think looks really awesome. A lance unit, which I'm not interested in using at all. A shield, which looks okay. And then a CGS mobile worker, that sort of tank kind of looking thing, which looks kind of cool. It looks really detailed for the size. It's going to be like really small. So it should be pretty cool. I'm expecting to see a lot of that in a lot of custom builds, people putting that on the Gundam or like making like a bunch of those, using those for dioramas. I'm just expecting to see a lot of those once that is actually released, but it's pretty cool, and it makes me imagine that probably in future parts sets we're going to see other sort of similar kind of tank things. In the trailer we could see at least one other kind of tank similar to that, so that might be something we might see in part set 2. I'll just have to see, but for 600 yen, so if you buy that and the Gundam for 1600 yen, it's basically the price of like a pretty standard HG. It's pretty good, I think, pretty good pricing there on Bandai's part, I think, for that. It's pretty fair. Then more HG, we have the HG Greys out in October as well. So October is going to be pretty dominated by Iron-Blooded Orphans kits, I think, in terms of the HGs. So that is also for 1,000 yen, same as the Barbatos Gundam. I definitely like the look of the Greys, I think maybe more than the Gundam actually, because it looks, I mean, the Gundam is very unique, yeah, but the Greys, I think, looks like something definitely not from Gundam. It looks like something like from Frame Arms or some other sort of series like that, and I just like the design of it. It looks pretty cool, and I think it's pretty safe to assume that this is like basically the Zaku of the series. Number one, because of its color, and the weapons or accessories that it comes with are a beam rifle and an axe. So pretty like standard kind of weapons for a Zaku. Of course, Zaku would have the machine gun and not a beam rifle, but anyway, you get the idea. The axe, I think, is what's the iconic thing there. I do like the design of the beam rifle for this too. It also looks pretty cool. I like the way that the handle is. Then it has a choice. Of course, there is a high mobility like commander type as well, different kit, but this one also has the choice if you want to make it a commander type. It has just the regular head, and then it has the head where you can put the little antenna on there as well, so you can do that. And the head also opens up, sort of similar to like the Rick DS. The head can open up, but then there's like a cockpit there. What I can assume is the cockpit. We don't know at this point in time. I think we haven't seen if that's actually the cockpit or not, but pretty safe to assume that that is. And then next there is the HG Grey's High Mobility Commander type, which is also out in October as well for 1,000 yen. So basically all these three kits are out in October for 1,000 yen. This one is in blue, so very similar to the Reconquista and G Space Jahannam, how the standard one was dark green, the commander type was blue. We have basically the same thing going on here, although this design is much different from the standard one. So this is the high mobility type. It has the claw thing on its arm that is going to be wire guided, so we're going to have a wire for that, which is pretty cool. Kind of the thrusters on the arm, the head is a little bit different, and that as well, so should be pretty cool. Those will make a really nice set, I think. And then the last thing I want to talk about here is that with this setup that they had at the announcement, they showed the HG kits there, and there was also 6 other kits designed, 6 other kits there in prototype form that looked pretty cool. Now we don't really know anything about these at the moment, the names or colors or anything about these other than just what we can see in the prototypes here. They look interesting, a couple of them a lot more than others, but it should be pretty cool. I'm looking forward to this series in terms of the kits. The series, I mean, we'll just have to see. It looks interesting, at least. The kits look interesting. We'll just have to see how they actually go together, if they're going to be similar to the Reconquista NG. So that is it for the announcements. Mostly Iron-Blooded Orphan dominated. But thank you guys for watching. Up next, we're going to be doing all the updates, and there's a lot of those, but I'm going to try to bust through those really fast. If you guys want to watch this, again, as I said, as a playlist, just go ahead and start the playlist up, and you don't have to like select the videos, but hopefully they should be auto-playing for you guys anyway, however you have your YouTube settings. Anyway, thanks for watching, guys. See you in part 3.